So we can start, is it not?
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. As I was telling yesterday, if anyone has any questions and if they have made a note of those questions, now you can ask those questions based on what we discussed yesterday or what was seen yesterday and the previous week. Anyone has any, if you have any questions or any clarifications, please ask now. Anyone? No one? Smriti, do you have any questions?
No, Swamiji.
No, no. Okay. So please, those of you who are not taking notes also, I would suggest it's good to take notes. It helps in studies. As I was telling you, so in between also, if anyone has any questions, you can stop me and ask. As I was telling you yesterday, ignorance has been seen as a series of 5 coverings over our true nature. These coverings are called kosha, and they are 5 coverings. So pancha koshaha, the grossest covering being the covering of food, annamaya kosha, then pranamaya kosha, covering of vital energy, then manomaya kosha, covering of manas, then covering of vijnanamaya kosha or buddhi, and finally the covering of anandamaya kosha. That is the bliss which you get derived out of the fulfillment of desires. So because of this word ananda comes the confusion. Because ananda or bliss is also said to be the nature or the swabhava nature of Brahman. Something which does not have any property, which does not have any form or name, how can it have a nature? Could be a question. So this is more a negative kind of understanding of Brahman, that it is not suffering and also it is not happiness. Because happiness is preceded and succeeded by suffering. Or the other way around also, suffering is preceded and followed by happiness. So this is not happiness, it is not suffering, it is a state which is beyond happiness and suffering, which is our true state, which is our real state or original state, and so it is called Ananda. And that is why this confusion. Now the philosopher belonging to the school other than Advaita Vedanta, say Sankhya or Nyaya, poses this question that this Ananda which you are talking about is not the Ananda as referred to as the nature of Brahman, but this is the Ananda which is a covering on Brahman. Therefore, it is ignorance. Because it is ignorance, it is not conscious or sentient. It is insentient. And so it cannot be this reference to Anandamaya in the Taittiriya Upanishad cannot be considered to be referring to the supreme reality. That is the contention, that is the objection of the opposite party. And so the last sutra also, we saw that no, this Ananda, though it is Anandamaya, the word Anandamaya has been used, where the suffix Maya has been used. Though the suffix Maya has been used here, going by the context, it is not used in the regular sense of the term. It is used in a special sense, that is the sense of abundance, prachurya arthe. In the sense of prachurya, abundance, which we should take to mean infinite in nature. That is what we saw. Now in the 14th sutra, another reason why Anandamaya, which occurs in the second reference in Taittiriya Upanishad, in that particular section, is being told that it refers to Brahman, it refers to the Supreme Atman. It refers to Supreme Atman. That is what is being told. How? Tad hetu vyapadeshat cha. The sutra is Tad hetu vyapadeshat cha. Tad, that, hetu, cause, vyapadeshat, because of having been told, having been instructed. What is instructed? It has been instructed that, or it has been said in the Upanishad that, Tad, that means Brahman, is the cause of this universe. It is the cause of the bliss which is found in this universe. So it is the cause of the bliss. Tad hetuhu, that is the cause. Tad means that, hetu, cause, vyapadeshat, because of it. Vyapadesha means instruction or teaching. Vyapadesha. Vyapadeshat, because it has been told. Cha, also. So one more reason why Anandamaya refers to Brahman and not the ignorant or ignorance or the ignorant realm, ignorant plane. Because this Anandamaya has been in that particular section or near that section. So when we have to understand the meaning of a particular text, we have to also look at the words or sentences which are following or preceding that particular text. Like we all, people who are aware of Indian philosophy, we are aware of how meaning is derived from language. In Indian philosophy, Purva Mimamsa or Mimamsa, philosophy propounded by Jaimini, that philosophy has done tremendous contribution in understanding the meaning of a particular sentence. In understanding the meaning of particular sentence. So Vedic sentences, meaning of Vedic sentences can be understood using the tools which have been given by Mimamsa philosophers. The greatness of Bhagavadpada Shankaracharya lies in this fact that he does not reinvent the wheel. He does not reinvent the wheel. As far as logic and reasoning is concerned, he uses tools which have been developed by the Nyaya school. As far as methods of meditation and concentration are concerned, he uses tools developed by the yoga school, by Maharishi Patanjali. As far as deriving meaning of Vedic sentences is concerned, he uses the tools developed by Mimamsa philosophy. So he does not waste any time. And he straight away comes to the conclusion of Advaita Vedanta, which is a philosophical conclusion. So wherever tools are necessary, he freely uses tools from other philosophies, but maintains his standpoint regarding the philosophy itself. That is a very great way of doing philosophy, and a very liberal way of doing philosophy, also very astute and clear way of thought. So when we look at how meaning is derived by Mimamsa philosophers, we see that they say when an experienced person, experienced in what? Experienced in the use of language. So an adult, when an adult is speaking and using words, a child who is learning that language understands how that word is used in a particular context. The famous example which is quoted is the word Saindhava. The word Saindhava etymologically means belonging to Sindhu. Again, the word Sindhu can mean two things. One is that which is on the other side of Sindhu, river Sindhu. So for people who are from our Indian perspective, other side of Sindhu, that means all this Afghanistan, etc. For them, Persia, etc. For them, for us, it refers to people from that side, and for them, it refers to people from India or Bharata. So that is how the word Hindu also came, etc. But again, I want to make a big clarification here. Does not mean that Hinduism was not there before. Just because somebody's name was changed, he was called Rama, then they changed his name to Lakshmana, does not mean that Rama did not have any life before his name was changed. It has been made amply clear by many historians. So Hinduism was till then called Sanatana Dharma. And because of these people, even now it is called Sanatana Dharma, because of these people, they refer to people on the other side of Sindhu as Hindu, because they cannot pronounce the letter Sa. So it came to be known as Hindu or Hindu religion, religion of Hindus, etc. So the word Saindhavam comes from the word Sindhu. Sindhu means those people who are, or the lands which are on the other side of Sindhu river. It also means ocean. Sindhu also means ocean. So that which has come from ocean, that means salt. Saindhava also means that which has come from the other side of the river Sindhu. It can, is used to refer to Arabian horses. So now, when a child is sitting and watching what the adults are talking. Then during food time, while eating food, one adult is telling to the other, Saindhavam Anaya. Anaya means bring. Saindhavam means salt. Here it is salt. The child has been also exposed to the meaning of Saindhava being an Arabian horse. So the child first is puzzled, of course. Why on earth this person wants a horse in the middle of meals? But then suddenly understands when the salt is brought that, oh, here the context is salt. So Purva Apara. Purva means preceding, Apara means following. Context is very important in determining meaning. Similarly, in the section which is quoted here, Taittiriya Upanishad, from the Taittiriya Upanishad, what follows has also to be analyzed in understanding the meaning of the word Anandamaya in this context. As I told you earlier, the confusion occurs because in the section, some mantras ago, Anandamaya has been used in the sense of a covering, Anandamaya Kosha. So now, here, this 14th sutra says, Cha refers to also. Cha refers to the word cha, which means and. It can mean many other things also, as it is common in Sanskrit language. But here it means and usually when the word cha is used, something which is not explicitly mentioned is hinted at. Something which is not clearly mentioned is hinted at. So here cha means also. That means the other meaning is, apart from this, there is this other meaning also, or the other reason also. Other reason for what? Other reason for having Anandamaya to mean or denote Brahman. The reason is because it has been told, it has been said, or the teaching is that Brahman is the cause of bliss. What is the teaching? The exact phrase is Kohi eva anyat kah pranyat. Kohi eva anyat kah pranyat. So in that section, it starts like this. Kaha hi eva anyat. Who else can? Indeed, who else can give bliss to others? Who else can give energy to others? So that means it's only Brahman which, it is only because of Brahman that other beings derive energy or bliss. That is the idea. So Brahman is only the cause of the energy or bliss of other beings. So here, because Brahman is told to be the cause of the bliss of other beings, we can understand that only when Brahman has infinite or abundant bliss can he be the cause of bliss for other beings. So we will see explanation in the commentary by Bhagavata Shankaracharya Deva. So the idea is because it has been told to be the cause of bliss of other beings or all the beings. Therefore, Anandamaya refers to Supreme Brahman alone, nothing else. Now we come to the commentary by Bhagavad Shankaracharya. Itaha cha prachuryarthe mayat. So, itaha also. Itaha or you can take in the meaning of itaraha, means other reason. Other reason. Itaha cha. Other reason. There is another reason also. Prachuryarthe mayat. Why the suffix mayat should be taken in the meaning of prachurya or abundance. So there is this another reason also why we should consider the suffix mayat to mean abundant. There is this other reason. What is that other reason? Yasmat, because Ananda hetutvam brahmanah vyapadishati shruti. Esha hi eva anandayati iti. Because Ananda hetutvam, the state of being cause of Ananda or being the cause of Ananda, being the cause of bliss. So Brahman is told to be the cause of bliss. Vyapadishati Shruti. Shruti Vyapadishati. So the scripture or the Vedas, they tell that the Brahman is the cause of bliss of everything. The Brahman is the cause of bliss. That is what is told by the Vedas. How is it told? Esha hi eva anandayati. Esha, this, he, indeed, this, indeed, anandayati. This indeed is the anandayati means anandayati, gives bliss. So this indeed is what gives bliss. Esha means this. He means indeed. Eva again means, you can say alone. Indeed, this alone, anandayati. So there is nothing else, only this alone gives bliss. Brahman alone gives bliss. That's what is told here. Iti. So, because Taittiriya Upanishad says that Brahman alone gives bliss, so we can understand that unless Brahman is abundant in bliss, and so that meaning has to come, that Brahman is abundant in bliss. Otherwise, how will it give bliss? Anandayati iti artha. Shankaracharya clarifies it that Anandayati. In Vedic Sanskrit, the grammar followed is a bit different than the regular Sanskrit. So it is called Vaidika Samskrita, Laukika Samskrita. Laukika Samskrita means the regular Sanskrit, and Vaidika Samskrita is Vedic Sanskrit. It has got a different grammar. So sometimes the commentators clarify the meaning of a particular word. Here the word is Anandayati. So it might be puzzling. The meaning might be a bit puzzling. So here it is told Anandayati means causes bliss. Anandayati means makes somebody have Ananda. So here that means causes bliss. Makes somebody blissful. Causes bliss. So what does it mean? Yaha hi anyan anandayati saha prachura ananda iti prasiddham bhavati. So yaha who, one who, he indeed, anyan anandayati. So in Indian languages, we will see this phenomenon. We do see this phenomenon. See, Indians, we don't get satisfaction unless we put some emphasis. So this he is there. He actually in Sanskrit, he is Krisva, means it is not he, it is he. The same thing went to Hindi and it has become he. Wahi hai. Usne hi bola tha. So here he is actually emphasis. Indeed. It's translated into English as indeed. That's why when translations of commentaries come, you will see so many indeeds, indeed, definitely, certainly, etc. Because that is the way how Indians, we are very emphatic. Even when we talk, no, there is so much gesticulation and all that. It is something which we revel in, we like. And so when we use Queen's English, as they call it, when we use that, we take all these mannerisms into that language also. So that's why we say he is like that only. Only we have to put. Only then we are very comfortable. Yesterday only I saw him. Kalli mein usse mila tha. So yesterday only we will put. That's bad English. That is incorrect English. But we do that. So you will see everywhere that he will come. That's why I am giving you this example. So Yaha hi anyan anandayati. Indeed, one who gives bliss to others, saha prachura ananda iti prasiddham bhavati. Definitely it is prasiddham, it is popularly accepted or it is established. Means it is established that that person has prachura ananda. That person has bliss in abundance. A person who has sorry face cannot definitely give bliss to somebody else. Maybe making faces, grimaces may create some laughter, but bliss, if somebody has to give, that person also should have bliss in abundance, only then they can give. Yatha, as loke, in the world, yaha anyesham dhanikatvam apadayati, yaha, one who anyesham, for others, dhanikatvam, richness or prosperity, apadayati, bestows. So a person in the world, if a person gives or grants prosperity, wealth to somebody, dhanikatva means the state of having wealth. So wealthiness, somebody gives to somebody, that means saha prachuradhana iti gamyate. It immediately follows gamyate. It is understandable that a person who makes other person wealthy is definitely oneself also wealthy. Prachuradhana has got wealth in abundance. Tadvat. Similarly, a person who makes other people or a person or a principle which makes other beings blissful has to be having bliss in abundance. That is the idea. So that is why here it has been expressly said that Brahman Anandayati. It is indeed Brahman which gives Ananda to other beings. It has been expressly said. So it follows that Brahman has to have bliss in abundance. Because if a person gives other people wealth, that person has to have wealth in abundance. Similarly, if Brahman gives bliss to others, then Brahman has to have bliss in abundance. This follows. This is what is told here. Tasmat, therefore, prachuryarthe api mayatah sambhavat anyam anandamayah para eva atma. So, tasmat, therefore, prachurya arthe api, even in the sense of prachurya, abundance, mayatah, of the suffix mayat, sambhavat. Sambhavat means in the arthe, in that meaning, in that sense, one can take the meaning of the suffix mayat. It is possible to derive such a meaning. Therefore, Anandamaya Parayeva Atma. Therefore, Anandamaya, the context, in this context, the word Anandamaya, it definitely denotes to Eva. Indeed, it denotes Para Atma. It denotes Supreme Atman. So it does not denote the level of ignorance. It only denotes Supreme Atman. That is what is told. So this has been another one reason is given here. And in the 15th Sutra, we now move on to the 15th Sutra. 15th Sutra also, same thing is being elaborated in a different manner. What is being told there? There it is told, mantra varnikam evacha giyate. Giyate. Mantra varnikam. Mantra varnikam means varnikam, the letters or the words, mantra, belonging to a mantra, evacha giyate. So the letters belonging to the mantra, mantra here of course refers to Taittiriya Upanishad mantra, evacha giyate. They also, in this manner, cha here should mean also. They also in this manner they talk. So they also are telling, referring to this only. They also are referring to this only. So mantra varnikam cha evacha giyate. What this only? That means they are also telling that Atma, two things. They are also telling that Atma is Anandamaya, and they are also telling that this Anandamaya refers to Brahman, and they are also telling that here the word Maya should be taken in the sense of Prachurya. All these meanings are, as I told, contextually speaking. In going by context in Sanskrit is called Sandarbha, as it is called in many other languages also. So going by the context, this word Anandamaya used in this particular section has to have the meaning of Brahman, Supreme Brahman. That is the only meaning it can have. Why? Because mantra, belonging to mantra, varnikam, letters or the words in that mantra, eva, in this manner, cha, also giyate. Giyate literally means they sing. They sing. But here we have to take it in the, because it is in Chandas. So they sing like that. So here we have to take it in the sense that the Shruti says like that. Shruti says like that. Mantra varnikam cha giyate. So because the Shruti says in this manner. So now here, again, as I told you, Purva Apara, it's very important. We look at what is there in the beginning, just before the particular aspect comes, before that particular section comes, and what is there after that particular section. So Purva and Apara, if we see, then we understand. So now we have to then look at another one statement which is nearby, and that statement is very famous statement of the Taittiriya Upanishad, which we will be on and off we will see why we will study the Brahma Sutras. It has been referred to by the Sutras. It has been referred to also by the commentary of Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya. What is that? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So this is also oft quoted phrase from the Taittiriya Upanishad, because in this phrase Brahman's three kind of description of Brahman is told. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. So that is what is mantra varnikam here. That is what is referred to by when the Shruti, when the Sutra says mantra varnikam eva cha giyate. In this manner, mantra varnikam is told. Mantra varnikam means mantras words are told, or mantras say like this. So what? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So here, by these words, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, what is being referred to? It is Brahman alone which is being referred to. That is what we have to understand. Mantra Varnikam eva Giyate. In this manner, Brahman alone is, so that is which also further in English, usually when we translate it like that. Also further, etc. So Brahman is referred to as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And so the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is nothing but another way of saying, another way of denoting Anandamayam Brahma. Brahman, which has infinite bliss, or not like has, which is of the nature of infinite bliss. So that is also we have to understand. So these two things we have to understand here. That particular context is talking about Brahman. Of course, Brahman in the sense of Anantam. So why this particular context is important? Why this particular phrase is important? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Because here the phrase is important because that is the phrase which includes the word Ananta. Ananta means infinite. So here, as I was repeatedly telling you, Prachurya Arthe, in the sense of Prachurya or abundance, we have to look at in the sense of abundance. So in the sense of abundance, when we look, we have to also see that abundance not in the sense of quantity, not in the sense of quantity, of course not in the sense of quantity. So we have to look at that word Prachurya in the sense of infinity, infinite. We have to look at the word Prachurya in the sense of infinite, and here comes this phrase which tells us exactly that. Prachurya, it tells us what? It tells us that Anantam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So it talks about infinity, that infinitude of Brahman. And so that context has to be kept in mind. So here again, there is that is one context is there. Also, there is another thing which comes here, which is the sentence or the part of sentence Anyontara Atma Anandamayah. Anyontara Atma Anandamayah. So the Atman, which is indwelling, which is Antara, which is indwelling in everything actually, that is Anandamaya. That is of the nature of bliss. It is told here. So it is called Prakarana. Prakarana means here it means context. So that Prakarana is very important. Context is very important. See, out of context, like many times we see Swami Vivekananda's quotes quoted out of context. So out of context, you lose the meaning and it might give you a wrong meaning also. So here context is very important. So in that, the context is referred to or contextualized. This Anandamaya word is contextualized. It is put in context that there are two kinds of references there. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is one reference. And the other reference, of course, is Anyontara Atma Anandamaya. The Atman which is indwelling, it is of the nature of Ananda. So, because the mantra tells like this, therefore also. So here, another argument. And as I told you just a little while ago, that the word cha is often used to denote something which has not been expressly said. Anukta, which is not ukta. So to clarify that, so here it is like another argument for the statement that Anandamaya here refers to Brahman, Supreme Atman. Now we move on to Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya's commentary on this sutra, that is 15th sutra of the first chapter, first pada, 6th adhikarana. So this sutra. Actually, it is the 15th sutra from the beginning itself. Here in the bhashya or commentary of Bhagavadpada Shankaracharya, he says, Itaha also means another reason. Cha also. Anandamaya para eva atma. Anandamaya refers to Supreme Atma alone, or it refers to Supreme Atma alone. Yasmat, because Brahma vidapnoti param iti upakramya satyam jnanam anantam brahma. So in the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the second section, the first mantra, starting iti upakramya means upakramya having started like this. Iti upakramya having started iti like this. What? With these words, Brahma with apnoti param. That means the knower of Brahman attains the Supreme Brahman. Attains the Supreme. So starting with those words, it ends. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman is Satyam, eternally existing, eternally there. Jnanam, and it is eternal knowledge, and Anantam, it is infinite. So it stops there. So iti asmin, in this mantra, in such a mantra, means this portion, yat prakritam, that which has been prakritam means which has been told or explained, Brahma, that Brahman, satya jnana ananta visheshanaihi nirdharitam. That Brahman has been nirdharitam, characterized by satya jnana ananta visheshanaihi, by the adjectives of satya. Satya means existing, jnana, knowledge, and ananta, infinitude, infinite. So here in this mantra, which starts with the words Brahma with apnoti param, this portion of the mantra or the Upanishad, which starts with the words Brahma with apnoti param, ends with the words Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. There, iti asmin mantre, in this manner, in this mantra, yat prakritam, what has been told or explained, that Brahman, which has been characterized by the adjectives of being eternally existing, having knowledge or being of the nature of knowledge, and being infinite, yasmad akashadi kramena sthavara jangamani bhutani ajayanta. From which, yasmad, from which, akashadi kramena, in the order of, akasha means space, etc. adi. So akasha, first akasha came, akashat vayuhu, vayor agnihi, agner apah, adbhya prithvi, like that. So akasha, from space came vayu, air came, vayor agnihi, from air came fire. Agner Apah, from fire came water. Adbhya Prithvi, from water came earth. So all these 5 elements. Also, Sthavara Jangamani Bhutani Ajayanta. Also, Sthavara Jangamani. Sthavara, not moving, immovable or stationary, and moving, Jangamani, moving, Bhutani, living beings, Ajayanta, came out of that. So all that has been explained or described in the Taittiriya Upanishad. That is what is being referred to. So first, the Satya Jnana Ananta Brahma is there. And afterwards, from that Brahman has come space, etc. And also from there has come stationary and moving living beings. Yatcha Bhutani Shishtva. Also, Taittiriya Upanishad goes on to say, Yatcha Bhutani Shishtva, that this Brahman, having Shishtva, having created Bhutani, living beings, Tani Anupravishya, it also enters those living beings. Guhayam Avasthitam. It is staying Sarva Antaram in all the living beings in their most innermost place. That is what Guha. Guha means it is a kind of a spiritual place like Gahvareshtam and all that. It is told. Means Guha means like a heart, spiritual heart. So there it resides. So not only it produce from it means Brahman. From Brahman it is all produced. And now the question will be, how can Brahman do something? So this is an imagery, because without Brahman there will be no universe. To bring home that point, to make us understand that point, in this manner, Taittiriya Upanishad explains. Having created all the living beings, Brahman enters all these living beings and goes and avasthitam, dwells or remains in the most innermost recesses of these living beings. Yasya Vijnanaya, and for which, knowing which, Yasya, of which, knowing, Vijnanaya, to know. Anyontara Atma, Anyontara Atma. So in order to know that Atma which is inside all living beings, this phrase has been used. Anya Antaratma, Anya Antaratma. Means inside that Atma, like that. So it's a kind of reference given to the 5 koshas. So you have to transcend one kosha and go to the another, and like that. Finally, you understand what is Atma. Iti prakrantam tanmantra varnikameva Brahma iha giyate. Anyontara Atma Anandamaya iti. So here, prakrantam, in this manner, in this particular section, tan mantra varnikameva, this mantra or the words of that mantra or the explanation of that mantra, Brahma iha giyate. Here, Brahman alone is being told of, is being talked of by the phrase Anyontara Atma Anandamaya. By the phrase that Atma, which is indwelling, is of the nature of bliss. So therefore, the idea is Anandamaya here refers to Brahman. And further one can say, Mantra Brahmanayoho cha ekarthatvam yuktam avirodhat. If somebody were to question, okay, you are saying that in this mantra it is told like this, but maybe in the Brahmana, now we know Vedas are roughly classified into 3 sections. The first section includes mostly prayers called Samhita. Then comes section devoted to different Vedic rituals called Brahmana. Finally, section called Aranyaka, which most of the Upanishads are in the Aranyaka portion. So here, if one says that, okay, this mantra may say like that, but in Brahmana, that is the portion connected with Vedic rituals, it might be different like that. So that is clarified by Shankaracharya. He says, Mantra Brahmanayoho cha ekarthatvam yuktam. So it is only logical. It only stands to yuktam means reasonable or logical. It only stands to reason that mantra and Brahmana, they are telling the same thing, or they are not contradictory. Why? Avirodhat. Because there is no contradiction between mantra and Brahmana. Because they are parts of the Vedas, they are not mutually contradictory. It's a very important thing. Vedas are not, no portion of the Veda contradicts the other part. That is what is told here. Some people quote this also to establish that point. Mantra Brahmanayoho cha ekarthatvam yuktam. It only stands to reason, or it is quite logical that mantra and Brahmana, they have the same meaning, because there is no avirodhat, because of them not having any contradiction. Otherwise, if we say that there could be contradiction, then what will happen? Then there will be a very blunder kind of situation happening. Anyatha, otherwise, definitely what will happen? Prakrita hana aprakrita prakriye syatam. If we were to accept that mantra and Brahmana, they are not telling the same thing, then, and they are mutually contradictory, then what will happen? Prakrita hana. Then what will happen is, what is being told in the Vedas, that would be ignored. Hana means ignored. Here, hana means that will be lost. So it will be ignored. That context or that particular topic will be ignored, and aprakrita prakriya syata. So in two levels this happens. If we were to now, during this discussion, which is a discussion about how Anandamaya word denotes Brahman, that is the discussion. If here we were to talk about whether mantra and Brahmana are of the same meaning, then it will be going out of context. It will be going on a tangent. So we have to also understand how precise our commentarial tradition is, that one is not allowed to simply shift topics. So unlike many people write something, they start writing something, they end up writing something, and in between something, so many places they go. So not like that. It is focused on the point. Also, the other meaning and the more important meaning is that if we were to take that mantra and Brahmana will be mutually contradictory, then what Brahmana is saying, mantra should say, and then only they will be they will not be discordant. There will be a synergy, there will be a synthesis. And so mantra and Brahmana cannot be self-contradictory. If it is so, that means the context, what is being told, that prakrita, that will be set aside by, suppose mantra is saying something, Brahmana portion, it will be set aside. Or Brahmana will tell something which has not been told by mantra. So prakrita hana, what is being discussed will be lost, and what is not being discussed will be new topic will be started. So that cannot be. That is an absurd situation. So that mantra and Brahmana, they always have the same meaning. Further he says, Nacha, also further, Annamayadibhya iva Anandamayad Anyontara Atma Abhidiyate. If one were to say, what is the phrase you are quoting here from Taittiriya Upanishad? Anyontara Atma Anandamaya. You are saying that Anya Antara Atma Anandamaya. The other kind of plane or level is of Atma is Anandamaya. You are quoting like that. So why can't we take this meaning that just like Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, one after another, Anandamaya Kosha comes. Why don't we make this meaning? Because Sanskrit, as we know, is an interesting language. You can interpret in various ways. So if one were to object like that, Bhagavata Shankaracharya says that is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because Nacha Annamayadibhya Iva, it is not Iva like Annamayadibhya, like Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya. Iva Anandamayad Anya Antara Atma Vidiyate. So it is not like Anandamaya Atma is told to be Antara means different. If we were to make this meaning, it will become different from what? Different from Annamayadi. So that kind of meaning it will not come. Atma Abhidiyate. Abhidiyate, that meaning cannot be derived here. Na Abhidiyate. It cannot be derived here. Again, one thing you will always come across is in commentaries, this na denoting no will be put somewhere very far from the word for which this na is used. So here na abhidiyate, na is coming in the beginning of the sentence. Nacha annamayadibhya iva anandamayad anyontara atma abhidiyate. Actually, it should be Annamayadibhyacha iva anandamayad anya antara atma na abhidiyate. But that na has been put some far away. So we have to connect. That is how we have to read. So that is not correct. That meaning cannot be brought. Why? Etan nishtaiva sa saisha bhargavi varuni vidya. So Tasmad Anandamaya eva para eva atma. Because it actually means the Supreme Brahman. And what is that? In Taittiriya Upanishad, third section, sixth mantra, it is told, Etat nishtha eva cha sa esha bhargavi varuni vidya. So this vidya or this knowledge of Brahman, this knowledge of Brahman, which has been with much focus and concentration and one-pointed devotion, Sa Esha Bhargavi. So it is Bhargavi means it was given to Bhrigu Rishi by Varuni, by Varuna. So it was given to Bhrigu Rishi by Varuna, that Vidya. So Tasmad, so there also this Vidya is referred to as the Vidya of or knowledge of Atman. And so they are all near by this Anandamaya Atma, which we are discussing, that sentence. Tasmat, therefore, Anandamaya para eva Atma. So the word Anandamaya, it definitely eva, it indeed refers to para Atma. It refers to the Supreme Atma, Supreme Brahman. It does not refer to anything else. It refers to only Supreme Brahman. That is what is told here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So if you have any questions or you want any clarifications, please note them down and please ask them. So by asking and discussion, things will become much more clearer. Okay. Shubharatri.
So, Swamiji, one question.
Yes.
Swamiji, I am Sharma here. Just one doubt, Swamiji. If Brahman is Ananda itself, then Why is it included in the one of the koshas? It could have been 4 koshas
No,
only.
that is no. That Ananda is different. This Ananda is different. That Ananda is dependent on fulfillment of desire. That
Okay.
Atma, that Kosha Ananda is dependent on fulfillment of desire, which happens at the level of ignorance. Whereas Brahman's Ananda is not dependent on anything. It is self Ananda, means self-evident Ananda. That is the difference.
And Swamiji, superimposition and Maya are synonymous?
Yeah, you can call them synonymous. Superimposition. So in Adhyasa Bhashya, Shankaracharya himself says that Adhyasa is called Avidya, it is called Ajnana, it is called Maya also. All these things it is called.
One last thing, Swamiji. See, we are all very fortunate that we have got this interest to get into this and understand and learn and reflect on it. But all these things ruled by prarabdha, and we can get into it and we can go forward and realize it only as per prarabdha.
Prarabdha itself is ruled by you.
Yes,
Prarabdha itself is ruled by you. Prarabdha means what? Whatever work you have done, the fruits of that work, results of that work. So prarabdha is not something which is beyond your control. Prarabdha is very much within your control. That is one thing. That is a very important thing. It's not. There is nothing called destiny in Sanatana Dharma. Many people don't know this. So there is nothing called prarabdha. Means what work you did in the past, maybe in this lifetime or some other lifetime. The fruits of that, results of that work is prarabdha, which is getting exhausted in this lifetime. That is prarabdha. That which is to be exhausted in the just coming lifetime, it is called agami. That which is going to be exhausted in future lifetimes is called sanchita, the storehouse of all the results of karma. All this karma you have done. Nobody wrote your destiny or that. Sanatana Dharma does not believe in that. So if you have done, that means it is in your control. So you are now learning or you want to learn Brahma Sutra because sometime you have thought about it. You have an inclination to understand Atman, though we cannot understand Atman through mind, but we will have an inclination to realize Atman or Brahman by repeatedly thinking about Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna gives this example, no? How a particular insect changes its shape. So also some people give this example of how metamorphosis happens, a butterfly. So how a worm becomes butterfly and all that. So it is thinking I will become butterfly, it will become. Scientifically, it will not be exactly what happens that, but there are some examples like that. So the idea is that you have been thinking, and so now you are now actually studying Brahma Sutras. So that thinking, who did? You did. It is not some unknown thing which happened somewhere. Somebody sat and wrote that, oh, Sharmaji should also study Brahma. It did not happen like that. You thought about it, and so you are getting it. So if you think, anybody thinks, they will get it. That is the hope of Vedanta. Vedanta does not, actually, though we say sadhana chatushtaya, etc., in reality, Vedanta does not require any prerequisite. You don't need any prerequisite. And Swamiji, that's why he says in several places that the whole concept of adhikari has been misused. Adhikari means a person who is qualified. So the qualification, as in academia, they misuse in India very much. We have what is called credential fetish. So if you have a paper in which it is written you have completed this exam, in India people are very happy. That person might not know anything, maybe BTech, but does not know anything. Actually, it happened. I asked an engineer last year only. He came here. I asked, so that he has done BTech and all that. So I asked him, do you know what is a tuning fork? He said, oh, fork, I know, Swamiji, we use it for eating. So those of you who know little bit understand, tuning fork is totally different thing. So I was so much shocked that this person has completed so many years of engineering, does not know what is a tuning fork. But we are happy with that. So Vedanta does not require that kind of a credential. Vedanta does not require some kind of prerequisite like that. That adhikari, who is an adhikari, who wants to know is an adhikari. If you want to know yourself, that is adhikari enough. That is the qualification. So it is because something you did in the past. So what happens? We relegate the responsibility to something which we don't know. Like I am good. It is because of God I am unable to pray. Not because I don't want to pray. God is there. Because of God I am not praying. So that means God becomes somebody who is partial, who makes some people pray, other people does not. He does not allow pray. Don't pray. Some people he is keeping in bondage, other people he is letting them out. This is a very foolish kind of notion of God. How can that be a God also? That will be maybe a CEO or some other person who has, or some politician maybe, who has personal preferences. God cannot be like. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna says that God's mercy is open. He says it is flowing like the Malaya breeze. So Malaysian breeze. So it flows. So we have to only unfurl our sails. So the breeze we can catch and our boat will move further. So this idea that we are all very privileged because God has given this blessing. So it is not like that. You have toiled or you have thought about it, and that is why now you are hearing Brahma Sutra. So the responsibility is completely on your shoulders.
But what I am feeling, Swamiji, is, knowingly or unknowingly, we are the makers of our own karma, or prarabdha accordingly is following. So the thing is already in place. And so in that context, beating it and then moving forward, is it in our hands now, or it will follow the rules of the...
No, that's again, you're again getting into the trap. It is, see, simple formula. If what you did in the past is governing your present, that means what you do now will govern your future. Simple. Is it not? What that prarabdha is what you did in the past. So what you do now will govern the future. And what you are doing now is in your hands, very much in your hands. Simple. So this thinking of destiny is something which we have to give up. Destiny, so nothing is in my hand. Swamiji said, don't think of yourself like meek and I am. Swamiji, if you read complete works of Swami Vivekananda, even when he talks about bhakti, not kind of a meek bhakti, he does not want. He wants bhakti like Prahalada. See, Prahalada was not meek devotee. Oh, a dasoham. Prahalada is a bold devotee. Swamiji extols gopis. Gopis also not like that. They are not saying, oh, we are dasa. Oh, never. Where do you find such a statement of gopis? Never you will find. They are not some dasa tasa. They are saying, he is our playmate. That kind of devotion. So, devotion, knowledge, karma, or dhyana yoga or raja yoga, as Swamiji calls it, all we have to do, taking complete responsibility on ourselves. Not by having some kind of, they call it psychological prop. So some, like in some civilizations, there were some totems. So this is your God, and it is because of the evil spirit this is happening. No evil spirit. What evil spirit? So Prahalada, if you see, the accounts we get in Bhagavata and elsewhere, Prahalada himself did not take so much name of God, Narayana and all. He is completely confident. He is completely confident, and so it's there are many accounts. They say in Bhagavata also, actually they say that Lord was waiting which pillar he will point, because then immediately he has to go there. So like that. So that is Prahlada never questioned. He is not praying to God, oh, please save me from this elephant. When he is thrown from a hill, he is not praying to God, save me. He is not praying to God, save me from fire. None of these things he is doing. He's a bold devotee. He knows God will save. And even if it does not save also, he knows it is for his good only. See, that is the thing. Not that, oh, it is not in my hand. Oh, something will take care. Something will happen. I will be simply like that. No. Like an automaton or like a robo, you will be there. That kind of thing, Swamiji is completely against.
Thank you.
Okay. Shubharatri, Shubharatri. Namaste.